Hi, today I want to talk about something many people experience but often feel too ashamed or afraid to speak up about, and it's family estrangement. It's one of those things that can feel so isolating, and there's a lot of hurt, confusion, and even anger all wrapped up within it. And in this video, we're going to discuss 4 aspects of estrangement. We're going to untangle this situation, why it happens, its impact on family members, healing, and what you need to know to move forward. So here's something we need to talk about before we dive in. Estrangement is more common than you think, and it feels so foreign, and it's deeply personal. It's often driven by universal patterns we don't always recognize. Today we're going to uncover some of those hidden truths and share some practical steps towards healing. Whether that means reconnecting, and I know many of you want to do this, or finding peace in your own life. Remember, estrangement is complicated. There's no one size fits all. This is a complex, layered topic, and there's so many different variables. I'm Marie Morin. I'm a therapist and a wellness coach. Let's get started. So let's start with the why. Estrangement is usually not about any one single event. People tend to think that there was a specific argument, a disagreement, a betrayal that led to the break. But most of the time, it's a culmination of years and sometimes decades of miscommunications, maybe secrets, unspoken resentments, or repeated hurt. Often, there are volcanic events that kind of break the camel's back. And it's important to understand that estrangement is often a defense mechanism. For many, it feels like the only way to protect themselves emotionally. It might come from feeling like you've been unheard, unappreciated, or even controlled for too long. On the other side, the person who's cut off might feel blindsided and unsure of what they did wrong or how to fix it. Both sides are often stuck in their own perspective, convinced they're the ones who were wronged. But the truth is, and we have studies to support this, that healing can happen when both parties are stuck in just looking at their perspective and staying in the blame game. So the first hidden truth is understanding the deeper reasons, the deeper contributors behind the estrangement, beyond the last argument or last interaction, is key. Next, let's discuss about estrangement and what it does to you as an individual. Let's face it, the emotional toll of being cut off is heavy. It impacts your mental health, your sense of belonging, your physical well-being, and you might carry around all sorts of grieving emotions, guilt, shame, sadness, or even relief. But no matter what emotions you're feeling, they're all valid. The longer the estrangement, the harder it can be to imagine any kind of reconciliation or outcome that is positive. This is why people often ask me, is it ever too late to repair? And the answer is no. It's never too late to start the healing process, but it might not look exactly like the happy family reunion you might see in movies or on television, but it doesn't mean that you cannot heal. Healing might mean to accept the relationship status as it is and finding peace in the absence. A third topic is healing. So this is the next hidden truth, which is healing doesn't always mean reconnecting. I know. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do for yourself and your family is to stay apart. It doesn't have to be permanent. That sounds harsh, but not all relationships can be mended, and that's has to be okay. Healing in this sense is about finding peace with the decision you've made, whether it's to try and reconcile or to move on with your life without the relationship. I can hear all the mail now that I'm about to get, but it's okay. I hear from many of you already who are beside yourselves because of toxic and abusive behaviors from a son or a daughter. And one of the last things that many of you parents tell me is that you just cannot imagine separating from them because the pain is too great. But it's been unsafe for you. And sometimes the best thing you could do is to distance yourself. I know it will break your heart to do so, but if you don't, you are in a place of danger and unsafety. And I know you've told me what's going on. I get it. I've seen some of you and spoken to you that you've exhausted yourself trying to fix things with this family member who isn't willing to change. And if the other person isn't open to addressing the underlying issues, the same patterns will repeat. And you end up more hurt than before. Sometimes the best way to heal is to let go. And that's not failure, that's a strength. Here's another point. Getting a professional. When there's a professional involved, if everybody is willing, this is about one of the most effective ways to address some of these underlying issues. If you've been listening to my channel, you know that when we speak about healing, I bring this up a lot because let's face it, we don't all individually have the insight that we need or the clarity because we're naturally biased to untangle some of the things that are going on with our loved one, whether we're the parent or we're the adult child. We need someone to step in as this neutral third party. And if all of you are willing, seek out somebody with experience. Go to a family therapist or a specialized estrangement coach, someone who knows and has a track record. They know what they're doing. It's all about the willingness and then actually stepping out and doing it. So let's continue to talk about healing. Let's say you want to try and reconcile. What does that look like? Here are some steps you can take to open the door to healing, okay? The first thing is you want to acknowledge your role. What did you do? How were you involved? If you feel like the other person is mostly to blame or responsible for the breakdown of the relationship, reflect on that, okay? Because we are in relationship, that means it's kind of a dynamic going on. Have you been defensive? Did you contribute to the breakdown of communication? Owning your part is powerful because it shows a willingness to change. It's not just about blaming somebody. The second thing is reach out carefully. If you're ready to reach out, do so without any expectation. I know this is hard. Send a simple message expressing a desire to talk. Not to rehash old arguments, but to understand where the other person is. Remember, successful reconcilers do not expect their loved one to completely commit to understanding the other person's point of view or where they were coming from. However, when we reach out and we ask questions and we're curious and we want to know what's going on with them, it helps us to have empathy for them and it opens the door to healing and potentially reconciliation. And the third thing is to set boundaries. If you decide to reconnect, it's important to set clear boundaries. Be honest about what you need and what's unacceptable, all right? So if you have a suspicion that there's going to be a heated conversation, then you need to say, hey, we're going to need to keep it light. Maybe we should meet in a public place, that kind of a thing. And the fourth thing is of course, if that person, your loved one, does not want to do family work, then get the help yourself. This is a tough go. And in order to heal, if we're feeling stuck and we're not moving forward, we need somebody to help us to gain insight. Moving forward doesn't have a quick fix. However, there is work involved to get us from this place of feeling stuck. It's about patience, forgiveness, and sometimes learning to live with the pain while still choosing to love yourself and forgive yourself. So I want you to remember that estrangement isn't the end of your story, okay? It is not. Whether you reconcile or move on, you have the power to heal and create a fulfilling life for yourself. Sometimes that means healing the relationship, and it's possible. And sometimes it means healing your heart. Reconnect with yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you get the more of these videos, and share your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you.